Hi, my name is Liliana Mata, and I'm a senior at Salinas High School. I'm here today because 2 weeks ago, parents filled this room and complained that the ethics curriculum was not appropriate to teach their children. I'm here today to tell you about the same children and how they've been treating the minorities at school. For many, school is one place where students get their basic needs met, and when they face daily harassment and feel unsafe, it is impossible to learn, much less feel safe. If you don't already know, Salinas High is widely known as the racist school of Salinas. All across the hallways, you will hear slurs being said in classrooms, and the students feel unsafe. The staff and administration have done nothing about it. I have heard stories of people that go to administration or Ms. Duthman and are ignored or dismissed. Educators and staff at Salinas High School have not done their part in caring for their students, and they are culpable for the harm they have caused for not holding themselves and the students who harass accountable. Principal Duthman and Superintendent Burns, your negligence has cost the mental and physical well-being of your students. Instead of an environment that prides itself on academics and school spirit, Salinas High is an environment where students feel welcome and comfortable to parade their malice. In 10th grade, my history teacher, Mr. Gage, compared a Jewish slur to the modern N-word. He said both loud and proud. When I called him out about it, he took me out of his classroom and said that I didn't know as much as him because he went to school. A popular substitute at Salinas High, Mr. Thompson, encouraged students to read the N-word when reading To Kill a Mockingbird. And Mrs. Loftus, a French teacher, said that Hispanic kids take Spanish class at Salinas High because the textbooks dumbs Spanish down for them. If anyone had listened or paid attention, they would have heard the pain in our voices. To the minority of students at Salinas High School who have spread hate, do not hide behind your youth and feigned naivety. Adults are choosing to believe your lack of understanding, but only because it's easier than confronting it. While your parents ignore the uncomfortable conversations, ours are sitting us down and begging us to transfer schools for our safety. Was there not a way to show your school spirit without the inclusion of racism? In a community and world where everyone needs uplifting, you've greatened the divide between us. My friends and I are tired of being the punchline to your jokes. I will not stay quiet about those who have made attending Salinas High School hell with your consistent racism and intolerance. And I will continue to speak out for my Black, Asian, Native American, and Latinx peers. Salinas Union High School, it is up to you and your colleagues to do the same. Speak out and speak up. Your silence is their power.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Valeria Hernandez Melchor, and I am a senior at Salinas High School. This is not the first time I have encountered racism in the school. I'm pretty sure all the students attending this meeting can agree that racism is normal in SHS. However, this time with confidence, we can bring it to your attention. There is so much evidence that you cannot ignore us, you cannot deny it, and you cannot sweep it under the rug. We're here because we want all students involved to be held accountable. Those who are part of ASB should not be called leaders. They should not speak for us or even try to welcome us when they promoted racism. They do not deserve that privilege. This incident also highlights how important ethnic studies and the critical race theory are. I've heard so many people, teachers and students, justify this behavior because apparently the students didn't know what it meant. This is a clear sign that we need to be educated on these topics so these types of things don't happen. Their ignorance is shown when they attack people who look like me with inhumane words such as wetbacks and beaners. Racism has been the root of abuse, rape, and murder. What will happen if these students don't learn their lessons and their behavior escalates? There's this claim that it will cause racial division when the division has always been there. Only through uncomfortable conversations will we be able to beat that divide and dismantle systematic racism. The administration should also be held accountable. They are very good at calling out dress code violations, gang affiliations, and drug abuse, right? They don't hesitate when they penalize and punish students of color, but when it comes to racism, they are blind and they turn their backs. We come to you hoping you will do the right thing. Showing up has put a target on our backs. We have put our safety in danger by fighting for change and hoping it will actually take us into account. That's it. Thank you.
is Faith West, and I'm a junior at Salinas High School. I'm not the best public speaker, so just please bear with me. So it's really disappointing, but I'm being honest, I'm not surprised at all that these attacks, racist attacks have happened. I just want to say a quick couple of things. I believe that all the students involved, they should be expelled. And that their colleges, any of colleges that they applied for should be contacted, that they shouldn't be able to go to school in the county and anywhere in this district, and that they, I think we all deserve a public apology. And if these students get away with it, what does it say about our district? The students, all the students at Salinas High, what does it say about us as a people and us as a community in Salinas? It's ridiculous. And if we just keep sweeping things like this under the rug, it's gonna happen again. It's gonna be a cycle that's gonna continue, and it's not gonna be surprising, and we're gonna be forced to get used to it, and that shouldn't happen. But that's all I have to say, thank you.
Good evening, board. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, okay. So I wish to remain unnamed, but I am a student of color, a Black student. And I want to just point out, when I walked into this room, the first thing I seen on the wall was building an environment for student achievement. Building an environment for student achievement. Building is an active word. It means we're actively going after how can we improve, how can we make better. You are members of a board of high schools that are known for being racist. We here at Salinas High, we instantly think, okay, if I'm a Black student, I have to walk a certain way. Or if I'm a Latinx student, I have to portray myself as a certain way so I don't experience prejudice on campus. We need to look at the policies behind how we are treating our students and how we are empowering our students to speak out against racism so that we won't have these situations. Like many students have expressed earlier, there was multiple people involved. There was teachers, there was staff, there was people who were seeing these posts, as well as I do have a list of all the Instagrams of students who followed the Instagram page. I will be happy to email it so all those students can get the proper accountability and proper consequences for their actions. I also want to talk about how we are punishing just the students. No, students learn. Children are sponges. That means we have to talk about parents, mandating the parents to also attend these restorative justice and racial equity trainings as well with their students, leading accountability for the parents, and not allowing money to erase scandals from their school, because we know a lot of these students have wealthy family members that can actually exclude them from their behaviors, that can cover up. We do not want any cover-ups. Enough is enough. I am tired of seeing all these symbolic representations of racism, and where my body is on the line, where I see Black girls, like the Black Girl Magic Club. If we had CRT and if we had ethnic studies, maybe we would know that the objectification of Black women have been such a historical thing, where people try to have ownership over my body, where I was seen as an animal, where I was seen as someone who can be ran over and stepped on. Maybe if we taught students the hurt, the pain, the history, the real reason why people have this mentality, and why parents teach their kids that this is okay, that they can be whatever and say whatever and not have any consequences. Why did they make the account knowing that people will be pissed off? Why did they feel empowered to follow? Why did they feel empowered to smile and stand and pose and laugh and be happy about this? This is a mentality problem. These kids become doctors who lead to the Black woman mortality rate. I can't even feel safe having a baby without knowing that if I have a baby, will I die? This is a problem, and it starts with the students. It doesn't have to be high school. We can go middle school. We can go elementary. Why can't we talk about race when race is everything that affects me since the day I am born? My mother could have died. I can die. My brother can die. My dad can die. Let's talk about it because this is lives. This is not just ideas. This is not just statements. This is not just comment. This is lives. We already know about the problem with black students being criminalized. We already know about the black students being hurt and harmed and not giving the space to talk and not being given the space to feel. Let's do support groups. Let's, instead of focusing on racist people, which they need accountability and they need consequences, we need to think about black students. How are we loving them? How are we showing them that they matter? How are we molding them into feeling empowered and feeling like they belong on our campus, building an environment for student achievement? Students meaning black students, students meaning Latinx students, students meaning LGBTQ plus students. We need to show them that we love them because it's not just, oh, this is a daycare. It's not a daycare. We spend eight hours a day at a school, on a campus, having trust that you will take care of us. Do your job. Change the policies. Protect our students and let them know that you love them and that you care about them. And it's not just a publicity stunt or to save face or to have authority and power over bodies. No, we need to believe in our people, because when we believe in them and when we empower our students to go and tackle racism and against racist ideologies, where people speak up in the classroom, where teachers speak up in the classroom, and we teach them the history behind the hate, maybe, just maybe, things will change. Maybe, just maybe, people will have hope and that they matter. We need to make examples of people, say their names, because they said Shaniga. They said Shaniqua. They ran her over. They posed with her. Make their names known so that they know that all these white people, or everybody who thinks that racism is okay and excusable, that they see that Salinas High's Unified School District said no. Enough is enough, and we are going to protect our students with our bodies, with our voices, with our authority, and we will fight for you. So do your job, change the policies, hold people accountable. Money does not equal an excuse for accountability, and really attack the problem at the matter of the issue, and teach them their history, and teach them about what their body represents and what their mind represents, and teach them how the society tried to shift it and form it into something that they can mold instead of their own, and teach students how to individually think so they can think again before they try to do some racist shit like this again. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Giovanni Hernandez. I'm currently a sophomore in Everett Alvarez High School. I became aware of the incident on, I believe, Sunday. I was not only in shock, but also disgusted at the fact that this happened. The fact is that the district and the staff barely do anything to discipline these people. They put more effort in dress codes, in bathroom policies, and phone policies. But the fact that they can't protect the sole people that they're there to educate really just speaks volumes. It really does. And I want to take time from me speaking to point out two students who really stood out in this whole situation. Their names are Hannah and Grace, both seniors in Salinas High School. And I want to take the moment to talk about Grace specifically, who not only did she go on the site of Omigo and say the N-word to someone and publicly smirk and just act as though it was something that should have pride, something that she should have pride in. It's disgusting. And I truly do believe that a suspension is not enough. It's not. And it is not enough. And the fact being is that she needs, and everybody who truly was involved in that situation, to be expelled. They really, really do. During my time in which I have been attending, and being a student in this district, I truly felt that faculty and staff, teachers have failed students, because I've had my own incidents, not by race, but by my sexuality, where teachers would turn a blind eye when a student would say joto or would say faggot. They truly do not care. And I don't think they do. Because they hear it and they act like nothing of this is happening. But it is. And constantly I see, whether they're white or Hispanic or Latino, I see these students hurl the N-word like it's something out of their vocabulary, something that is regular. Now, something to point out that I truly, truly do believe, and I put emphasis on, is the ethnic studies and critical race theory. I truly do believe that there is no sugarcoating this education. Tell it how it is and how it truly, truly is. And I don't know why the school board has not done anything in specific to push and put emphasis on these two subjects that truly do educate in order to get rid of this entirely. We don't need suspensions. What we need is education. And those who truly were involved, suspension is out of the question because they need expulsion. The majority of people there are seniors who partook in that. They're basically adults. They don't need people to tell them that this is right or wrong. They had the time to do that when they acted on that. And they need, as I will always put to say, they need to be expelled. They really, really do. On Monday, I was aware that the students were being protected. They did more to do that than they did to discipline them. Because that's how shitty, truly, the school board and the district is. And that's all I want to say.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Belinda, and I am a senior at Alisal High School, but I went to Salinas High my freshman and sophomore year. Thank you, everyone, for coming. It is really heartening to see that so many people showed up, and it makes me feel like so many people care. I'm here because I want to say that we need to focus not only on what happened on Friday, but what happens every day when we go to school. Because it's not just the Friday Jamboree. It's Monday when I go to school and I hear the N-word in the hallways. It's Tuesday when in my math class they won't listen to my opinion because apparently Latinas don't know math. It's, Wednesday when people shouted beater to me in the hallways. So there's an undercurrent of racism, of discrimination, and not just in Salinas High, in all high schools. So I ask the board members to please consider what are we going to do from now on to make sure that this doesn't happen again, because enough is enough. And so I support ethnic studies. Please consider training staff and teachers so that they can better educate all of us on how we're going to make things better from now on. I also think that it would be really helpful if we had support groups, because yes, there's people who are being racist, but also there's us who have to face it every single day. So it'd be really nice to be able to talk about it, to have someone to support us. And last of all, I want to implore the community members, don't just show up to this meeting, show up to the next one and the one after that. Let's make sure that these aren't just words, that there's going to be action in the future. So yes, I don't want to see, words or that the district said this. I want to see action. And so I hope that we will all continue to support this because it is very important to me and I know to many other students. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Cameron Pono, and I am a senior at Salinas High School currently. I have been attending this school for 4 years now, and let me just say this is not the first time racism has been prominent in our community, our campus, and within our administrators. This is just the first time that these students from this school are being called out and being bashed for their actions as they should because they are inappropriate, disgusting, and so disappointing for the whole community of Salinas. I was there at the Jamboree that Friday night. I was sitting in the first row of the Salinas High student section. And let me tell you, it was just some of the most disgusting, embarrassing, immature behavior I have ever seen. Not only was my school the only school to boo any of the other schools on at the Jamboree participating, we were sharing the student section with Alisal High School, and our students still had the audacity to boo their cheerleaders when they went onto the field. After that action, those students who booed did not meet any repercussions for their actions. They were not told to get out of the student section, and they were not told that it was not okay. A second thing is that despite everything that happened with the baby doll, there's so many more ways that Salinas High showed their privilege at the school that night. Not only with the booing, but with our cheerleaders being the only ones without masks was honestly so mind-blowing. Coming back to school, it's clear that mask protocol is important and key to staying on campus. Our teachers preach about wearing your mask at school and staying safe. So why wouldn't our athletes, the people representing our school, trying to set the right message, not wear masks at the Jamboree? It makes no sense to me and to many other students there. For Salinas High to be the only ones partaking in the no mask was so embarrassing for so many students. I don't see how you expect us to follow the protocol at school if our own athletes aren't doing the same thing. Another thing was that the not kneeling for the injured player. I was sitting in the very front row, like I said, of our student section. When the player was first injured, Charles, who spoke earlier, he is my friend. When he was first injured, I witnessed the JV cheer team get on the ground and kneel respectfully, like all of the other teams in the stadium. It wasn't until the varsity cheer team, a specific player, had told them to get up and said, don't kneel, went like this with her hand multiple times, and they listened to her, and they all stood up. There was coaches, there was teachers, there was administrators all on that field at that same time, and nobody told those cheerleaders anything until I stood up. I stood up and asked them what they were doing, who they thought they were representing, and why they thought that was respectful in any way whatsoever. Not one teacher told them to get on their knees and kneel and be respectful to the injured player, and that was just astonishing to me. Their cheer coach was not even 6 feet away from me. And I didn't even know this was my own injured friend until I had received the news minutes after. I was heartbroken and devastated to see that these people from my school were not respecting this injured player. These people have been playing sports since they were children. They've been in Colton Broncos and Alisal, all of those recreational football teams, so they know when it's respectful and when it's not respectful to kneel. Their choice not to kneel was just blatant disrespect, and I fully believe that they chose that on their own. I would just like to say that as a senior, this has been the worst experience of my life at Salinas High. I am grateful that people are holding them accountable, and I am trusting you as the board to have them receive the consequences they need to learn. To just learn that this is just not okay, for parents to learn that it's unacceptable and it's disgusting. They're not kids anymore. They've been acting like this since they were kids. Why is there no change? Is it the education? Is it the parents? What is it? Why can't we not figure it out? I would just like to say, on behalf of the Salinas High seniors who were heartbroken and just disappointed by our students' behavior, that we are truly sorry. We are sorry because there are some of us who don't act that way, and we believe that it's gross. After the pandemic in 2020, we should know that all of this is it's just terrible. Nobody deserves to see any sort of racism like that, especially through Salinas High. I would just like to say that thank you for letting me speak my piece, and I hope that the board will take into consideration that this has been going on for too long and it needs to end. With our generation, with 2021, it needs to end. There's no more. Thank you.
Hi board, my name is Mirval, and I recently graduated from Salinas High. And when I heard about this, I felt absolutely disgusted. I have a brother who's in Salinas High. I have cousins who are there. And when they told me everything that happened, I wasn't shocked because racism has been going on in that school for such a long time. When I went to a classroom multiple times, some students were communicating with each other in Spanish. And the teacher would say, speak English, speak English, speak English. Only English, only English, only English. But the students couldn't speak English because they were barely learning it. And they would get in trouble just for not speaking English. It is absolutely disgusting when there's literally racism going on. You could literally just walk the hallways, you could hear someone say beaner, wetback, anything. And when you get home and your mom asks you, oh, what did you learn today at school? What am I supposed to say? Oh, I got called a beaner. I heard someone called this person the N-word. No, I just stay silent and say, oh, I just learned about the quadratic formula and all this. Because I do not want to worry my parents at all. Parents drop off their students for their staff to make them feel safe. Parents expect the staff to make their students feel safe. All the parents want is their student to get education and to get a good career in life, because some parents couldn't get that themselves. And for Latinos, and for people of color to be called names and to be ignored is disgusting. Staffs and some teachers would get mad at students for getting an extra sandwich and getting an extra apple in the lunch line. But when it comes to racism, they turn a blind eye to it. They just walk away. And especially the ASB president, the ASB vice president, they were chosen by the students because the students thought that they could lead their class. But when I saw those pictures of students that I used to talk to and them not wanting to take responsibility and blaming it on others, it's insane, because they're adults already. Well, not adults, but they should know what they are doing is wrong. We are in year 2021, and this should not be an issue anymore. This should have been resolved way back. Racism isn't new to the school or new to any of the schools. This should have been resolved a long time ago, but it was all swept under the rug. And now I'm so happy to see so many people show up to say that this is it, that we had enough, because we do not want future generations to feel the same way that some of us have felt. And that's all I want to say.
Hola, buenas tardes a todos presentes. Me gustaría relatar lo siguiente. Soy Armando Santiago Cervantes, del 12º grado. Quería hablar de la situación tan delicada que la escuela está pasando. El tema del racismo sobre aquel video que se viralizó está afectando a toda la comunidad de Salinas High. Sabemos que en la escuela hay una gran diversidad de culturas y todas deben de ser respetadas por cada miembro sin importar posición. Sin embargo, los estudiantes que cometieron esta gran falta de respeto, no sabemos cuáles fueron sus razones para actuar de esta manera, pero aún así deberían de ser responsabilizados por sus hechos, ya que muchos medios están poniendo en las miras nuestra escuela, haciéndola lucir como un lugar sin valores morales. Si bien sabemos que la mayoría de todos los estudiantes respetan y forman una sana convivencia con los alumnos de todas las razas, sin importar la diferencia, porque es una de las ideas principales de la escuela, aprender bajo un régimen sano, confiable y seguro. La sociedad en redes sociales están distorsionando gravemente la información o los hechos sucedidos. Lo último que queremos es formar un ámbito de división entre los alumnos, tanto de Salinas High School, otras preparatorias, padres de familia y una comunidad en general. Quisiera hacer un video en grupo haciendo una aclaración a todas esas personas que creen que toda la comunidad de Salinas High tienen modales racistas e irrespetuosos ante las demás personas. También pedir una disculpa a todas esas personas que se sintieron gravemente heridas por esta situación, pero nosotros somos vaqueros y tenemos que ser sensibles, honorables y seguros. Estamos dispuestos a alcanzar el nombre de nuestra escuela asumiendo esta responsabilidad para poder levantarnos de esta situación. Gracias por su tiempo.
So, Marcos Cabrera, if you can hear me, so we'll have it translated into English for the audience as well.
I am Armando Santiago Cervantes, 12th grader. I would like to speak about the situation, the delicate situation at the school this last time that just occurred. The theme of racism, in accordance to the video that went viral, and it's affecting our community of Salinas High School. We know that in our schools there is a great divide of cultures, and everyone should be respected as an individual member without regard for their position. Although there were students that caused this grave situation, we don't understand what their reasons were to act in this way. But they should be held responsible for their actions. And all of these, and all of their ways that have caused our school to have a bad light, and seem that it doesn't have values and morals. We all know that the majority of us students are respectful, and we form a healthy camaraderie with other students of various races without there being differences, because those are the ideal principles of our school, and to learn under a healthy regimen and with safety. The society in these circles, social circles, is distorting the information and the actions that occurred. And the last thing that we want is to form an environment of division between the students at Salinas High School, at other high schools, in our families, and in our community in general. I would like a video of a group of the group making a declaration as to all the different persons that all the different persons that form the community of Salinas High School, showing that have these disrespectful and racist actions against other people. I would also like to ask for their apology to the persons that they gravely hurt by this situation. Because we are cowboys and we would like to be sensible, honorable, and safe, we are willing to involve the name of our school, assuming this responsibility so that we all can lift up from this situation. Thank you for your time.